subscribe, and then it's going into subscriber mode, which means you won't be able to comment. You'll only be able to watch the reading, etc., etc. So if you are not a subscriber, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to subscribe. So it is now 9:13. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to subscribe before I shut it down. It's about to go into um, it's actually about to go into subscriber mode because the topic is so racy. Okay, so if you're not a subscriber, I suggest that you go ahead and subscribe now because I'm about to shut it down. So as I was saying, I remember Lil Ron talking about this situation. Lil Rod, I keep calling him Ron. I remember him talking about this situation. It had to be about 2 weeks ago because I saw him and I stopped and I looked at I watched the video. He talked about how he had worked on this album. He had put his blood, sweat, and tears into it. He had missed holidays with his family. That he was being, his publishing was being taken. That they was playing in his face with his money. And this was for his kids. He said this was for his kids. I remember all of this, right? So when this all popped out, I'm like, well, damn, this is the same, when they showed who the guy was, I'm like, that's the same guy that was talking about his publishing. That's the guy that was saying, that they were trying to steal from him, etc., etc. So I was like, that's crazy that, this is the same guy. Because, I'm envisioning who it could be. I'm sitting in my mind, like, who could this be? Is this some guy? Like, who is this guy? And to find out it's the guy who was talking about the publishing, I was like, wow, that's wild, right? Because if you watch the video like 2 weeks ago, he never said he was assaulted. He never said any of this. So, and I watched the whole video, no lie on my mom. I watched the whole video. He never said there was an issue sexually with drugs or anything. So it was shocking when I saw who it was because I was like, oh my God, like this is the same guy from this is the same damn guy that was talking about the publishing, right? So I was so confused. So anyway, in the chat, I would love for you to tell me with a 1 if you believe Lil Rod. Number 2, if you do not believe Rod. And a 3, if there is some truth to what he's saying. Once again, 1, do you believe him? 2, you absolutely do not believe what he's saying. And 3, there is some truth as to what he's talking about. And then if you feel that there's some truth, type in a couple of the truths you think he's saying. All right? So let's jump into this while you're putting I'm watching y'all. While you're putting your information in, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'm about to shut it into subscriber mode to keep all the weirdos out. So 3, there's some 3s here. I see some 2s here. I see some 1s here. So some people believe he is telling the absolute truth. I see a couple of 2s where people feel like he is not telling the truth. And then there are more 3s, which people don't really 100% believe him. So I did a survey on Instagram. And when I did the survey on Instagram, I have 2 Instagrams. One is Blue Nola Official. The other one is the crew of Blue Nola. We did a survey on the crew of Blue Nola. And on the crew of Blue Nola, they said the same thing. The vote is that the top one was that number 3, there was some truth to it. They didn't believe him totally. The second one that came in was number 1, that they believed him, and the third one, so basically, number 3 was the top runner. Okay, so we're gonna jump into this reading again. I'm about to put it in subscriber mode. This subscriber mode will be customized, so this means it will go into subscriber mode for at least 2 hours. I am not taking it out of the subscriber mode once it goes into the subscriber mode. So, because the topic is kind of racy. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. So it says Diddy is accused of SA, harassment by male producer, in a $30 million lawsuit. This new lawsuit is the latest in a string of troubling allegations against the music mogul. I'm getting this from Yahoo Entertainment. Sean Diddy Combs has been accused of SA by a former male colleague. If you remember the readings I did on Cassie, Diddy, and her husband, and I think it was the first reading, I talked about how a male accuser was going to come out. I will link that in the chat. Again, I already talked about a male accuser in the video that we had done for Diddy, Cassie, and her husband. And I said a male accuser was going to come out. So I'm going to link it. I can't remember the timestamp. It was live, so it was a long live. But let's go ahead and keep going. So basically it's saying here's what's going on. Music producer claims that Diddy would grope him, parade him around naked, and is seeking $30 million. All right. Lil Rodney, I'm gonna just go ahead and call him Rodney. Lil Rod Jones, a producer on Diddy's 2023 album, filed a lawsuit in federal court in New York on Monday against the rapper and several associates. Jones alleges to have witnessed Combs and others engaging in serious illegal activity while he lived and traveled with the superstar from September 2022 to November 2023. All right. In documents obtained by NBC News, Jones claims that Combs would force him to solicit sex workers. Some of them were underage. The producer alleges he was pressured into having sex with them at Combs' direction. Images of the alleged gatherings that appear to show sex workers at parties at Combs' house is included in the filing. Jones claims that some of the workers were given drinks laced with drugs at Combs' direction. All right. On one occasion, according to the lawsuit, Jones said he believes he was drugged and woke up naked and disoriented in the bed with Combs and two SA workers. Jones alleges that he was forced to work in Combs' bathroom as the entrepreneur showered naked. When he voiced concerns to Combs' chief staff, it was dismissed as friendly horseplay, stating that those acts were Combs' way of showing that he likes you, per the lawsuit. Jones alleges that he was constant unsolicited. I guess there was constant unsolicited and unauthorized groping and touching on his anus by Combs. Why would he use those words? What? Jones alleges Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends, according to the complaint. He is suing for harassment and assault and seeking $30 million in damages. So let's see where we at. All right, so let's go to the first part. Was this guy, did he see things that he could say seem like sex parties? Did he see things, and this is for entertainment purposes only. Let me start by saying that before I even go there. Did he possibly see things that he felt were different, strange, weird, right? Did he see things that made him feel like I'm in a sex party? People are doing drinking. People are indulging, possibly, allegedly, in drugs. The devil card is here. So that could represent for Rodney that he is telling the truth about some of the things that he observed in that space, right? The devil card represents, of course, people who are what? Sexuality. It could represent people being playful. It could represent, sexual behavior, right? So I believe that he definitely could say that he was in situations where things seemed to be, they were having a good time, right? People were drinking, people were smoking, people were at a Hollywood party. I can say that, I can sit down and say, I can see that happening, right? In this Queen of Swords, though, this does represent, you've been knowing about this, right? So in your double card, this represents, Rodney, this is something you've been participating in and been until Mad Day came, right? This is why people got to watch having people in their space because it's you tolerated it and you dealt with it and you were in that scene until Mad Day came, right? And Mad Day is once you got upset about whatever the business deal was. And now that you're upset about your business deal, about your publishing, about your money, now this is why you're bringing this up. So I could probably say, does he have proof on all of this stuff that he's talking about? This is very vague because this is just saying you could have been at a Hollywood party where people were drinking and smoking and have a good time. But was it specifically happening to him? Right? That's a difference. Now I saw a picture with Cuba Gooding Jr. And Cuba Gooding Jr. was way too touchy feely close, right? And but he has a history of that. He has a history of that with women. He has a history of that just being too touchy feely. This is why he was in court, right? Being sued for doing the same thing. I know somebody who worked in the club scene in New York who would see him and he would be being too free, too forward, too touchy, too feely. So I could believe that he is free with his hands too, Cuba Gooding Jr. But we'll get to all of that. So just to start the reading off, I feel where there's smoke, there's a little bit of fire. Now, on the back of the hand, though, there is this message here. Go ahead and start putting y'all's questions in the chat. And this message here. And what this represents to me is Lil Rodney. I'm gonna just call him Rodney. He is exaggerating some of the events that's happening here. This represents somebody who has bad intentions, that has a false heart, that they have the relationship is now falling apart. And so a person who once held you in high esteem now has a disdain for you. They hate you or they dislike you. So I do feel that, yes, right? Yes, there's something that that he could say, okay, I was at a party, they were drinking. I was at a party, they were smoking. I was at a party, people were doing too much. People were being weird. But to what extent? So, because this is telling me his whole story is not 100% believable. So let's dissect it and let's dissect this out and just see what that story is. All right, y'all ready? This is going to be a whirlwind. So let's go ahead and get into it. Spirit, please give me the energy around Sean Diddy Combs, music mogul, and his connection to Rodney. This is music producer Rodney. So let's start with the first thing here. We see that Rodney was in a space and a place where he may have seen some things. So did they have at their parties, the first thing is this. Witness Combs and others engaging in serious illegal activity. Give me the energy around that. Fool card, Seven of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. When you ask that question about serious illegal activity, there's something here about conflict, right? There is something here that represents some conflict. And there is something here that represents he felt the person could have looked young or younger or something like that, right? In here. He does have in his message also too, he's not 100% sure. They would have to call those people and say, how old are you? What was your age? This, that, and the third. But to answer the question with this message here, this represents something evil, something suspicious. The women. This represents something happening as it relates to the women. Even when you look at these three, these represent that similar energy, right? Queen of Pentacles, something going on that doesn't feel right in the atmosphere. Again, this is what it talks about. So I could believe a little bit about what he's saying about that. So let's break it down even further. All right. Let's see. Let's go down further because he's got specific stuff. Did Sean Combs, force him to solicit. Was he ever participating in getting people to come over as sex workers, etc.? Give me the energy around this man, Rodney. Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Two of Wands, Six of Cups, Magician energy. To me, I feel, and I'm going to just answer it honestly, this feels like a little bit of a manipulation, like in terms of him physically going out and getting people to come back to have sex. This feels like that's not true. He has the Ace of Pentacles. He had no dog in that fight. He had no investment in that. He wasn't even close enough with him to do that, right? I could see Diddy doing that with Stevie J because they have that kind of relationship. They've been around each other a long time. Even in the Two of Wands, this talks about he didn't trust him enough to put him into nothing like that. Even in the Magician, his Magician represents that may not be completely true. Now, again, when you're in a circle with people and you're working with people, people gossip just like any other job situation. So I could see where he could have heard that conversation, been a part of that conversation, heard somebody saying something like that, but his messages doesn't show that he was directly involved in bringing sex workers into that environment. The Magician is saying that there is a lie in that story. There's some illusions and manipulation. And again, it could be third party information, right? Again, that's like you being at your job and your coworker told you something that somebody said somebody did. This feels like that's not the truth. His tool, you didn't go out and make the plan. You didn't go out and make the decision. You didn't go out with the direction to bring people back. You're in reverse for that, sir. Right? You're in reverse for bringing SA workers back, sexual workers back to the place. Right? It is coming up as a fib. All right. So let's start there. So again, I could see where he was in an environment where he felt like, okay, these people look like sex workers. These people look like they came over to party, but it doesn't look like he was part of the circle to go and solicit people and get people, actual sex workers, to come through. So this feels like he's embellishing on that. All right. How we doing? Are y'all in the chat? Are y'all talking? I don't see anybody talking in the chat. What y'all being so quiet for? Let me go before I go to the next part of it. Hold on. Okay, let me see what y'all talking about. I don't see anybody talking in this chat. Is this chat up and running? Let me see. We're about to move to the next one because we're going to answer it piece by piece. And if it's yes, it's yes. If it's no, it's no. So he is lying to get money from Diddy. So the bottom line is this. I think there's some truth in what he's saying. So, for example, just like I described with the parties, you were at a party. You saw people drinking. You saw people smoking, possibly popping pills. You saw people being, having a certain energy towards each other. But was he instructed to go get said sex worker? That is coming up as questionable for me. That's okay. He doesn't have to be a part of that. He could say that would happen, right? He has to prove that happened. So let's go ahead and get into the next one. All right. Were the sex workers given drinks laced with drugs? At Combs' direction. Give me the energy around, were the sex workers giving drinks laced with drugs? Were the workers given drinks with drugs? He has the King of Swords, the Temperance, and then the Seven of Swords for that one. When you see that message here, this could represent he felt like he saw things happening. There's somebody was being put under the influence. So there is an air of him feeling something, and there's an air of something around that. Even in his Temperance, this could also represent something about he felt like people were drinking and then they would come out of balance. Now, this could also represent he's not 100% 100%. So just imagine you being at a party and you feel like there's something to this. So let me say that there's something to it. There's something to it. So they could have been drinking something that had something in it, right? They could have been drinking something. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. But there's something about people coming out of balance. The temperance represents out of balance energy. All right. But why haven't any women come forward to say I was actually laced? My drink was laced with drugs. I woke up in another place. Again, this could be something where he felt like he saw people drinking and then they started behaving differently, if that makes sense, right? Because the reason why I'm even going that way, because it's almost like saying there's still a little deception with this, but I could see how he could say, I feel like I saw some things and people acted differently. So for example, we went to this party and he told everybody to get a drink, and then next thing you know, they were acting weird, or they weren't themselves. They seemed like they were under the influence. That's what I'm trying to say. He's the host. He's asking people to get a drink. Hey, get a drink. But there's some deception in this as well. And even in this King of Swords energy, there's something about there's something to it. So I can see where people, again, if you're a prostitute, right? Not all prostitutes, but most people who in that lifestyle, they indulge in drinking, they indulge in pill popping, they indulge. But the way he's making it sound like is that he actually took the roofie, put it in the drink and gave it to people. I just feel like there's something about it, about people drinking and feeling, looking and moving differently. But I feel there's deception. I don't feel like where he could say, I saw somebody take a pill. It almost like it's in he feels that way. This is what it shows to me. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? They came in, he told everybody to get a drink, and then everybody started acting real different. People started getting real different. Kind of like love, kind of like what's that TV show that was based in Louisiana where people what was that? I think it was True Blood. Like people at a party and they drink something and they start getting all crazy and animalistic. All right, so this is on that. There's something to people drinking something that may have had something in it, though. Absolutely, but the people knew what they were getting into. Yeah, I mean, there's something to that. Confirm the energy around. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is not set in stone. Around people drinking something that may have had them put them under the influence. Judgment, the Lover's card, and the Three of Pentacles. You know how people be taking, what the stuff they be taking when they be getting sexual? What's that stuff that people be taking when they be getting sexual? Ecstasy pills? Ecstasy pills, Molly, whatever that stuff is. You know how people be taking those pills to feel good and get all loose and juice. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So that's what I'm talking about. All right, so that is on that part. Jones believed he was drugged. Give me the energy around Jones. Was he ever drugged by Diddy and woke up in the bed naked with sex workers? Give me the energy around Jones. Was he in Diddy's bed naked? He has the Eight of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and then the Nine of Pentacles. This is coming up as a confused story. The Two of Pentacles almost tells us that's a no. He's confused about that. I don't know if he was doing some of those pills and was hallucinating, but this is representing almost like there's a no to that. Even in the Two of Pentacles energy, that Two of Pentacles is talking about that's a conflict around that question. Confirm, did he wake up in Diddy's, was he ever in Diddy's bed naked with Diddy and some sex workers? The Sun card, the Four of Wands, and the Tower card. Tower card is representing to me almost like saying, it's still kind of representing it's something about that story that's not making sense, right? He has a lack of support with that. I don't feel that's true. The Three of Cups is also telling me that that's true. It's just gossip. So it's just showing up like that's not true. Like he was not in the bed with Diddy naked. Okay. He has receipts pictures stored on his cell phone. There's a picture of he has receipts pictures and stored so in his cell phone pictures. There's a picture of who that was used to pick up sex workers. I don't care what he got in his phone. Have you seen all of it? Peaceful pads? Because they said the lawyer won't even look at the information. He actually said that Stevie J was on a video, and that's not even Stevie J, right? And just because you take a picture doesn't mean that Diddy made him do that, right? I'm just saying, all I'm saying is this. There's some truth to it, and there's some untruths to it. That's all I'm saying. Did Diddy ever was in the bathroom taking a shower, having a bath, and he was actually in the bathroom? Give me the energy around that. Give me the energy around that. Did Diddy ever have him like where he was probably taking a shower? 8 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords. That feels like there's some truth to that. All right, where he could have had him come in talking to him as he showered. There's some truth to that, right? There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. People got to be careful, people. Everybody not comfortable with you being in a robe naked. Everybody not comfortable with you coming, with you inviting them into the bathroom space. I don't care how big it is. Everybody not comfortable with that. You got to be careful with stuff like that. Because this is coming up as something, there's something to that. Okay, there's something to that response. So, something where he felt uncomfortable. In that 7 of Cups, is there 2? That's something about he felt a certain way about that, right? I can see that man saying, this man is naked in the shower, and I'm up here taking notes and getting direction. But just like Scarface, remember Scarface used to be in the tub on the movie, and his men would come in and take orders and directions from him. I guess Diddy think he's Scarface. I don't know. Shit. His kids always bringing up a lot of influencers around everybody. Let me see what y'all talking about. He was in the bed with Diddy fully clothed. I don't feel like he was in the bed with Diddy at all. Do you picture this man? Think about this man in the bed with Diddy. Look at him. Look at him. Y'all think that of all men in the world, he gonna have him in the bed with him? Look at him. I'm just saying. Right? So, that feels like he could have been taking a shower or a bath, and the man was told to, he needed him for something, talk to him about something, take a note about something, work on something. Everybody not comfortable with that. You got to be careful doing stuff like that. You got to be careful. Okay, so let's see. All right, so that is on that question there. So what I'm trying to do is just go one by one to see if there's an error, truth, or deception in the question. If you don't, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So the first one, as far as being at parties that were infused with people that may have been drinking, or smoking, and being sexual a little bit, I could see that. Was he actually going pick up a sex worker and giving them $1,000? I don't see where he's directly involved with it. Not that he doesn't know about it. That's why I'm not saying that. Was he in the bed butt booty naked with Diddy? I don't see that. Did he go into the possibly in the bathroom area where Diddy, and I could see that. Okay. Okay, so are we good so far? I'm just trying to kind of break it down and dissect it. He's including Usher in his lawsuit. Did Usher really try to do him something? Remember, one of Diddy's former chefs said that he had her serve him and his guests while they were nude. That's what I'm saying. I could see that. That's what I'm trying to say. I could see him being thinking he in his house. He's naked under a robe. He's in the bathtub with bubble bath. He's in the shower. People be way too comfortable with people. They need to be careful with that. Everybody not cool with that. And obviously this man wasn't cool with that. So that's why I'm saying, like, I could see where he did that and he thought that was comfortable. All right, so let's keep going. Uh has Give me the energy. Oh, hold on. Let me make this smaller. Okay. We did the one about the bathroom while he was showered. I believe there's an air of devil card energy there. There's some truth to that. Uh, did Jones allege that Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends? Is that true? Was he grooming him to pass him off to his friends? This is coming up as somebody who was having almost like, how do you want to say it? They started getting, what's the word you want to use? Paranoid. Like, right? He has the Knight of Cups in his energy, and this represents somebody who was getting felt under, he didn't trust the situation, that the person had a vice, that he wanted to dishonor him, that there was something perverse going on. He doesn't have any, nobody ever said that to him. You know, this is a feeling that he was having, that he was being groomed, right? Even in that Queen of Swords, this represents somebody who was feeling a certain amount of stress, and you know what I'm saying? There's a stress factor there. But I don't, that's, to me, it almost makes you feel like he was getting paranoid and started getting conspiracy minded. Like he's trying to put me together. He's trying to set me up. He's trying to pass me off. Like, this is like, to me, there's a deception in that. There's a deception in that. You got to ask yourself, why did a grown man with children continue to be in this environment until things went south, right? Because there's something about it. You didn't say anything until it didn't benefit, until the situation was no longer conducive for you, right? Why did you stay in that situation if you felt that way, and continue to work hard and put your blood and your sweat and tears into it? I feel that this man, again, he is a card of bitterness, right? He has some conspiracy here, and paranoia. This is what it talks about. But there's nothing to prove that somebody was setting him up for, to be like, to be what you call it, to be groomed. There's nothing here, right? But if you're in a situation where you feel like you're around sex workers, and a situation where you feel like you're around drugs and alcohol, you're in all these different situations, eventually you're going to start to think that I'm being positioned. People think that naturally. All right? Fake, like feels like paranoia. Yeah, like paranoia, like he is paranoid. Okay. He says that that Diddy would grope him and grab his anus. What a word to use. Give me the energy around him. Was he actually ever groped in his anus? Moon to 4 swords. Ooh. And Knight of Pentacles. That is coming up as confusion, misinterpretation, and false. This is coming up as somebody who is irrational. He also has in his messages the Knight of Pentacles, and this is somebody who is as well. This could represent, he is, I'm going to do a mental health reading on this guy. I want to know if he has some mental health concerns, because he keep having some cards that like make you think he's got some mental health things going on here. So I'm gonna do a mental health check on him to make sure, because when you see his moon card here, when you see some of his cards look like he got some mental health stuff going on. So I think as we're doing this too, we need to make sure that he doesn't have any mental health issues, because he has the moon card here for this question. Hey, I'm on live. I'm gonna be off in a little bit. And this could represent somebody who has a mental disorder, right? Um, this is what this represents. And when you deal for him, there's a lot of aspects there that show up. Like the person could have some stuff, sometimes when people be under high stress, and this is not a mental disorder that just started when he started working for Diddy. He's been struggling with his mental health for a while. I'm surprised that hasn't come out yet, that he's had issues and he's had some challenges before, right? This is why with that moon card, this could be somebody who can be confused and misinterpret something. And there's some falsity to this. And he has something about not sleeping and being irrational. And there's also too, like they could have had people who reported him before for his behavior. So he has something in his messages that are actually leading to that he could have like some mental health concerns himself. So I'm gonna do like an actual mental health check on him once we get through some of the questions, because there's something about his he's got an irrational mindset. Um, exactly. How did he get to your anus? There's some of the stuff that he's saying, like, so you walked up, so you found yourself naked, but you still stayed there. And then you saw him naked as a man, but you still stayed there. And then it's some of the stuff that he's saying he's involved in. It's almost like, why continue it? It's not, why would you continue to be there? Um, so he is suing for $30 million. Combs calls his latest allegations pure fiction and a money grab, right? This is a money grab, looking for an opportunity, looking for a quick money grab. This is what this talks about here. Sean Hawley slams Jones and says his reckless name dropping about events that were pure fiction and simply did not exist is nothing more than an attempt to garner headlines. We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that these claims are false, lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones' attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored. So Tyrone Blackburn, who is this man's attorney, will not speak to Diddy's attorney. How does that work? So how does that work? How does an attorney not talk to another attorney? Right? Didn't Tyrone Blackburn represent Jennifer Huff, which is the lawyer that was suing Nicki Minaj's husband? And they said that the judge was sanctioning him because he wouldn't comply. And this is the same Tyrone Blackburn that had the case with Sabrina Peterson and T.I. and Tiny, and all of those allegations were false. Is this the same Tyrone Blackburn? Is this the same Tyrone Blackburn? Remember, this is the same Tyrone Blackburn that represented the case with T.I. and Tiny, and they weren't able to prove one of those allegations were true. He had that case with Jennifer Huff, and he got sanctioned, and they threw him out of there. This the same guy? Okay, they said that, and he uses the same tactics, which is he's going to social media first and letting social media have this, well, he's trying him in public first. So basically he did the same thing to T.I. and Tiny, where he threw out all of these allegations, and then the suit started to start. So he's doing the same thing to Diddy, which is he threw all of these allegations out. Because how do you not speak to Diddy's lawyer? That's the purpose of having a lawyer, so both lawyers can come together and discuss what's happening and a possible settlement. But they're saying here that Tyrone Blackburn has ignored, he's been ignoring the lawyer in a statement, and that to Hollywood Reporter, we will address these outlandish allegations in court and take appropriate action against those who make them. Combs has been sued for as a harassment, misconduct by four other people since November 2023. And here's a rundown. And so they have the names of Cassie. They have a lady named Joy Dickerson, Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2, and now this male person that's saying this. All right. So let's ask this question. Let's ask this question. Will Diddy settle with Rodney, Lil Rod? Will he pay him out? Will Lil Rod get a settlement from Diddy? Lil Rod. Nine of Wands. The Devil card. The Empress. The Six of Pentacles. The Six of Wands. The Ace of Pentacles. This looks like they're going to be asking for a particular amount. This amount, I know they say $30 million. I think they're going to try to negotiate it lower. And this is no. Diddy's going to fight him all the way. The Ace of Pentacles is no investment, no money, no profit, no gain. They're going to be able to prove that a lot of his allegations are fabricated. This talks about basically because he wasn't recognized, he's now going after him as retaliation. This represents disloyalty. They're going to try to, this is going to play out for a while. This doesn't feel like it's going to be just overnight. This talks about they're going to be trying to go through with this for a while. This represents, that's actually 1 to 6 years. I'm not saying it's going to be that long, but this represents trying to get some type of money from them for a long time over these allegations. This is what Diddy gets from always having all these people in his space and being too free and comfortable with himself, right? This is what this talks about. But as far as the settlement is concerned, the settlement is coming up as a reverse, right? His Ace of Pentacles, which would represent a financial settlement, is in reverse for Lil Rod. What's interesting to me with Lil Rod is that Lil Rod was asking people to donate to his GoFundMe. Why do you have a GoFundMe if your lawyer should be taking that case contingent upon you winning that settlement with Diddy? You shouldn't be giving him anything. Why is Tyrone Blackburn making him pay a fee up front? Because Tyrone Blackburn trying to get some money out of him, right? Because he doesn't have the money and he won't get any money. So something's up with that. Makes no sense. Yeah, shark smelling blood. So he doesn't show up like he is going to get money. Confirm Lil Rodney. Will he get money from the Diddy situation? Will he get money from the Diddy situation? That's a 9 of Cups. It looks like he walks away with nothing. He has the 8 of Cups and he has the 2 of Cups, which represents he's going to face a huge obstacle in getting money from Diddy. That 8 of Cups is walking away. 2 of Cups is almost like a no. He's going to have a hard time really proving this, right? He has the 9 of Cups and the 2 of Cups here. He's going to have a hard time proving any of these allegations. That 2 of Cups represents a lack of cooperation. You see, like most people are cooperating, talking to each other, communicating. He's in reverse for cooperation. He's in reverse for people. Like he's going to face an uphill battle cooperating his story, getting real proof. And the proof that, like Peaceful Peds was saying something about he had something in the phone. Can anybody tell me, have we seen full proof in his phone? Because I thought they leave that for the trial of the case. So what did y'all see in his phone? Y'all seen him hugged up with some girls that you could barely make out? What did y'all see in his phone? But this shows like he's going to have a hard time proving this stuff. Tyrone Blackburn is going for fame. Gotcha. Let me see. Watch, there will be more coming his way. Diddy ain't innocent. Well, I didn't say he was innocent. And I hope you've been listening to the whole reading. Nobody said he was innocent. This is why I'm breaking it down charge by charge, right? Nobody said he was innocent. If I see where he's innocent, I'll say he's innocent. If I see where there's deception, I'm going to say there's deception. I don't even like Diddy like that. Go watch the last video, right? But we can't sit here and put every single charge on a man if it's not true, right? If it's not true, I can't sit here. Listen. It would be easy for me to come here and blow smoke up your ass all day long and get a click and a view and a like and make this video go viral. That's not what I'm about. If I don't feel it, if my spirit, if I don't see it on these cards, I'm not going to say that it happened. Right? Nobody's saying he's innocent. They got a lot of people that say he into a lot of bullshit. I 100% agree. But I'm not going to sit here and say this man was naked in the bed with Diddy when I don't see it. And if this man can't prove it, which he's not going to be able to prove a lot of what he's saying. And this case is going to drag on. And he's not going to be able to afford his lawyer. And Diddy not giving him no money that easily. What you want me to do? You just want me to sit here and tell you stuff so you can feel, yeah, Blue Nola said. I'm not doing that. My channel could be a lot further ahead if I sat down and put all kind of titles, in the story. The sacrifice, the devil worshiper. My channel would be a lot further ahead if I entertain everything. People are intimidated by you because you're not allowing your personal and feelings to affect your readings. A lot of people don't have that type of control. I don't think people are intimidated by me. I just feel like I'm not going to sit here and just tell you what you want to hear and feed into narratives that just, to me, I have to sleep at night. I'm not going to just say stuff just to get a click in the view and ooh and a ah. What are we talking about here? Before I let y'all control me like that, I'll block you off the channel. And that's a fact. But anyway, let's keep it positive. All right, so what are your questions now that we've read through this piece of it? I know he talked about Cuba Gooding Jr. He talked about his Young Miami's cousin. They said something about the cousin sexually assaulting him. Give me the energy around Young Miami's cousin. Page of Wands, 3 of Cups, 6 of Swords, 2 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. People need to be watching themselves, right? This could be like you was being too touchy-feely on that man, right? Like, people need to be careful, right? Ace of Cups, 3 of Cups energy. You don't get into a space with him and then think you could be too friendly and too touchy and too feely, right? Because people could take it the wrong way. People could take it the wrong way. This is basically, when you see that 5 of Pentacles, that could be something that person felt was, you disrespected their space, or how you came across you too handsy, feely, touchy. So there's something about, people got to keep their hands to themselves. I don't touch anybody, even on your shoulder. Not happening. But that Ace of Wands represents some little, that's a desire aspect. That's something about your hands touching. So, people, 5 of Pentacles, something that could have been considered unwanted. Gotta be careful with that. Be careful, Lord. Just don't touch people. Don't embrace people. Don't, But how is this man? He just has the type of personality that everybody wants to touch him. Like Diddy wants to touch him. The sex workers touching him. The man, the Young Miami's cousins touching him. Like everybody just touching him, huh? He must be a hot commodity. Okay. All right. We talked about Young Miami and Diddy in the last reading. This is the reading before this one. We talked about Young Miami and Diddy's relationship. All right. Young Miami's cousin, Young Orlando. It just feels like people need to keep their hands to themselves. So I could see how he could perceive like he felt awkward. Okay. All right. What are your next questions? We're about to close this out. 217 in the chat. Please hit the like button. Don't forget there's a special that is going to end. I extended it one more week. $65. 5 questions, 35 minutes. That package is usually 135, I believe. 125. You're getting that package for $65. All right. I'm gonna extend it until next week, but that doesn't mean it's gonna be available until next week. Is it true about Stevie J? What about Stevie J, Lorraine? You talking about him being in the bed with another man? Didn't a porn star come out and say and provide a clearer picture saying that's him? The porn star already came out and said Rodney provided a fuzzy picture. The porn star came out and said that's me. And he provided a clearer picture of the same picture Rodney provided. So the picture, that's already been confirmed that that was a porn star. Are there any PD kids involved in this? No, we're not talking about nobody kids. Why do he keep putting himself in this situation? He mentioned someone getting shot. Is that true? Give me the energy around. Did he see anybody actually get shot? Give me the energy around Rodney. Did you see anybody actually get shot? Where's the police report? I don't see anybody harmed. I don't see anybody harmed. Not one picture of somebody being harmed. Hangman for health. Hangman for health. Hangman for health. Hold on. Let me look at this real quick. Hangman for health. That's not somebody getting shot. I don't see where somebody got shot. Justice for health. Justice is not somebody getting shot either. I don't see where somebody got shot, guys. All these cards are positive. The double card for health. The double card represents somebody having, the double card is like sex, drugs, rock and roll, all that stuff. But there's nothing in here about somebody getting shot. Let's confirm it. They're saying his son Justin's friend got shot. Did Justin's friend get shot? Justin's Combs' friend. Did his friend get shot? Did Rodney actually see somebody get shot? How about that? Did Rodney see anybody get shot? 5 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords. Tower moment is here for health. 5 of Wands represents he could have seen a conflict. He could have seen a fight. Tower card is also here. That could be an accident. And there's a grief moment that is here. That 5 of Cups represents some grief, right? In the messages. So that does show like they could have had some type of accident there. This talks about accidents. So there is an accident aspect there. And then this is about some kind of conflict. So it almost seems like a fight broke out. And there's a grief aspect here. What about somebody getting shot? So he could have observed a fight. Did somebody actually get shot? Ace of Wands, Star card, 5 of Swords. It does show that somebody could have been in that 5 of Swords. That represents somebody could have been attacked. So he could have observed a fight. You see on this picture here, these people are wounded. There's something about somebody being hurt. Now, this could have been 2 people fighting. You know, Star card is here in the messages. The Star card also represents some type of bad outcome. People drinking. People were doing drugs that day too. But there's something about a fight. So it could have been a fight. I see a fight happening. I don't see a shot. Somebody getting shot. But I do see people getting into a fight. This is a fight. This is a fight. You see these cards? People are fighting. So I see where a fight could have happened, but I don't see where somebody actually got shot. The Tower card is in reverse, and that just represents almost like somebody suffered, but I don't see where somebody got shot. Somebody could have been hurt. I see a fight. I can't say somebody was shot. I see a fight, though. Almost like somebody had a fight. All right? I don't see a gun. I just see people, people fighting. And then people getting hurt and bruised in a fight. But I don't see like a gun. Okay? I just don't see it. Conflict. Conflict is here too. I see conflict in the air. This just represents conflict. It almost does make you feel like somebody did go to the doctor with some type of issue. But it does. I don't see gun. I don't see gun. Could have been just a fight. So again, it could have been embellishing a little bit. Did he say he saw the fight? Did he see the fight? Did Rodney see the fight, or did he hear about it? Did he say he saw the fight? There's some deception about a gun, but I definitely feel like there was some tension. So I could believe that there was a fight. Okay? A fight. All right. Anything else before we go? It's 10 here. So I believe there's some truth to some of the stuff he's saying. I don't think he's just totally lying, but I definitely feel like he could be fabricating some things. Another thing I want to make you pay attention to, he had the Three of Cups a lot. The Three of Cups is also gossip. The Three of Cups could also be him getting third-party information or hearing it from another source or some other person. So don't be surprised that some of the stuff he's talking about is actually secondhand information, right? Don't be surprised because he has the Three of Cups a lot. So he may be able to tell you some stuff that he's seen personally, and then he may be speaking on some things where he heard it through the grapevine or somebody, some hearsay. So just remember, because he keeps having the Three of Cups a lot, and he keeps having the Page of Swords a lot, and those represent gossip, right? So just know, like, some of the stuff that he's regurgitating about some stuff could also be him hearing it from other people. Okay? All right. Anything else? There's 215 people in the chat. Anything else before we go? Let me see. You know? Hold on. Let me make sure I'm looking at y'all's comments. Thank you for the super chat. I didn't even see it. I appreciate you. Who is that? Let me see. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Who is this? Voodoo Doll TV. Thank you. Sending love. Thank you so much, Voodoo Doll TV. I appreciate the super chat. All right, guys. So, is there anything else? He said he heard a gunshot. He heard a gunshot. Okay. Well, all I can say to you, honey, is that somebody definitely looked hurt. I don't see a gun. That doesn't mean he didn't have one. All I'm saying is somebody definitely looked like they had a fight. Somebody definitely looked like they got hurt. Somebody definitely looked like they went to the hospital. That's all I have to say. I don't see a weapon there, but that doesn't mean that he didn't, again, he heard, he didn't see. But again, that's just like the police officer that thought he heard a gunshot because a pecan fell on his car. And it wasn't a gun. All I'm going to say is it definitely looks like a fight. It definitely looks like somebody was hurt. And it definitely looks like somebody could have went to the doctor. All right? Now, that always can be proven, especially if the person got medical help. Right? That can always be proven, especially who's getting shot not going to the doctor. Make that make sense. So if that person actually got shot and they went to the doctor, then any doctor or an urgent care, any hospital, all he has to do is say Dan got shot, and they can pull Dan's records. It's not that hard to prove that. right? That's one thing you can prove, especially if you know the person's name. He got shot. Can anybody pull his medical records to see if he got shot? Yeah, you could pull that. So anyway, was that Stevie J in the shot? No, I just talked about that, Tila. The man who was actually in the video actually said that was me. The prostitute, the porn star, literally came out and said, "That is me. Here's a clearer picture. This is me. I am the man in the video." Why y'all want Stevie J to be in the bed so bad with a man? Shit. Okay, so this is the end of the road for me. Again, I'm not saying everything that he's saying is the truth. I'm not saying that everything he's saying is a lie. Is a lie. All I'm gonna say is there's some truth to what he's saying. He said he was in a studio session and Diddy and Justin got into a fight and a gunshot went off. The friend was shot. Diddy what? Friend was shot. Diddy everyone to say it was a drive-by. That's what I'm saying. I feel like something did happen. I do feel like something did happen. But again, if that person got shot for real, then there's always a way you can say he got shot on this day at this time. He went to get some help, even though he claims it was a drive-by. He can prove it. I see a fight. I see something happening. All right. Period. How you gonna say it was a drive-by inside the studio? Make that make sense. So the studio is glass. Most of them rich people be deep inside of a studio. So he got shot in the studio during a drive-by. Let me put that in my mind. So he's inside of a studio. Was the studio on the street? Was the studio inside the building? How he got shot in the studio by a drive-by jail? Told everyone to say it was a drive-by. So they were outside. So they were in the studio and he got shot in the drive-by. Okay, jail. All right. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. I'm just trying to put that in my mind. I was in the studio and I got shot in the drive-by. I'm in the studio. Okay. I was at the studio and I came outside. How was I in the studio getting shot in the drive-by? Okay. All I know is I see a fight. All right. So anything else? Anybody else? This is the end of the road. We can always come back and do a part 2. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. Take care. Stay blessed, encourage, and empower. There's some truth to what he's saying, and there's some embellishment, and there is some third party stuff or some secondhand information. Not third party, but some secondhand information in his stories. This is going to play out. It's going to extend. Diddy is not trying to give him a penny. So just know, studio drive-by. It just makes no sense. But just and again, we can do a part 2. I'm gonna say this. There's something about some of this stuff that rings true, and there's some of this stuff that is actually coming up as deceptive. All right. So just know, like, they're gonna be debunking a lot of what he's saying, and he definitely shows up like he's gonna have a lack of support on it. Thanks for reading. Can we get a reading on what's going on with Kate Middleton? Give me a 1 in the chat if you want a reading on Kate Middleton. Give me a 2 if you do not want a reading on the Royals. Give me a 1 in the chat if you want Kate Middleton, a 2 if you don't. They were saying that's what Diddy was saying, an excuse to why he got shot. I understand that. I understand he was saying, tell them that you got shot in a drive-by. But how was he in the studio getting shot in the drive-by? Now, maybe I'm confused. Did he make the witnesses say he was outside the studio and got shot? Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for clarifying. Anybody interested in the Royals? 1 for yes, 2 for no. They said they had people charged with Jam Master Jay killing. People were once his godson. That's terrible. I don't give a damn about them Royals. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care who in the hospital. I don't care who pregnant. I don't care who died. I don't care who was looking cross-eyed. I don't give a damn about none of them people. Not one. Like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Why do they have a monarchy over there? Why are they still living in ancient times? Why? Please tell me why. Why are y'all living on these taxpayers' dollars? Why are black people so interested in these people knowing what they did to black people? Confused. I'm so not interested in the people, but I definitely will do a reading on them. What's up? I'll definitely do a reading on them. I see a lot of ones. So we'll come back and get some questions on them, child, but I don't give a damn about none of them people. Nola, I've been watching your content. You have some fire readings. I really enjoy your readings, celebs. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you, Tiffany. I don't give a damn about them. All right, so okay, the only one I like is what's the one that's here in the United States? He's the only one I like. The rest of them people go suck your mother. All right, I think this is it for me, y'all. So are you still gonna do? We discussed that we're not doing Orlando Brown fully because he is he's mentally unstable. He's it's almost like, let me say this to y'all. I don't know if y'all get me and my personality. It's almost like saying we are going to exploit a person that has a mental health condition. That's just like, now that we really know that Wendy Williams has dementia, I am not going to be doing as many readings on Wendy Williams because this lady cannot make real decisions for herself that make sense. Orlando Brown was on an interview with Dr. Phil talking about he was the son of Michael Jackson. He also couldn't remember how many kids he had or what the kids' names were. And he told Dr. Phil his wife was pregnant and his 2-year-old was in his wife's stomach. And Dr. Phil clarified it like, wait, your 2-year-old, no, your 2-year-old is, your 2-year-old is too, right? He said, no, he's still in my wife's stomach. This is a person who has a mental health issue. And the person who took that video of him saying that, they're exploiting him. They're exploiting him. And what's a shame is that, you know, he's putting the names of people that have careers in his mouth. You know, maybe Orlando Brown, he's fighting his own demons, his sexual demons. Because what man is walking around, unless you're openly gay, talking about you're making love to other men? Where are we doing that at in this world? You're supposed to be a straight man with a wife and kids, and you're around here talking freely about you're making love to Drake, you're making love to this person, you're making love to that person. There's clearly something going on there. There's clearly something going on. And to just keep reading on a person that you could see that there's a problem. He looked like he was possessed one day. Then there's another time he had some contacts in his eyes. So I just feel that to read on Orlando Brown at this point would be exploiting a person with a mental health issue. Because he is struggling with his mental health. He's struggling with addiction. He's struggling with existing in this world. And it's actually really sad. Because you wouldn't want to see your brother, your cousin, or your uncle in that situation. You know? Jaguar Wright is another mental patient, right? She's another mental patient. We should just do a flyer, all the people that have mental health issues. Let's just knock them out and just talk about all the shit that they've said that they've never proven. Let's put Jaguar Wright, Orlando Brown, Uncle Ron. Let's put what's the guy that was talking about Will and Jada? Let's put him on a thumbnail, and let's put a few people that get on YouTube. Oh, the lady that claimed she was R. Kelly's daughter and Aaliyah's daughter. We're gonna just put all of those people on a flyer because we believe what they're saying. These people have a mental health condition. Bilal. We're going to put Brother Bilal on the flyer too. Like, we're at this point, we're just letting a mental patient, we're just letting mental patients blow smoke up our asses. But it's up to y'all. Anybody can see that. That's why I don't watch their interviews. I'm here for it, Nola. Yeah, I mean, we could do a whole thumbnail on all those people that walk around and tell all these fantastic stories. Has Jaguar provided you any proof since she's been out? Has Brother Bilal provided you any proof since he's been out? Has the girl Eugenia sent any proof since she's been out? Give me a one in the chat. Have you seen proof from Bilal, Eugenia, Jaguar Wright, Uncle Ron, Orlando Brown? Put a one in the chat if you've seen any receipts from any of these people. And give me a two if you have not. Give me a one if you've seen receipts. Give me a two if you have never seen a receipt. All you've done is hear them talk about an experience. Have you seen a receipt from Uncle Ron? Have you seen a receipt from Orlando Brown? Have you seen a receipt from Eugenia? Have you seen a receipt from Brother Bilal? Have you seen a receipt? All them people do is run their mouth. Anyway, y'all. Oh, we're gonna add Bonnie Lachey to the list of delusional people. Bonnie Lachey, that's pretending to be pregnant for Blueface. She will also be on the list of delusionals. We haven't seen one receipt from her yet, and she's pregnant with Blueface's baby. She just did a concert the other day, a concert with 10 people, and her stomach was flat as a board. But she's over there talking about she pregnant. She's delusional. Once again. Then when Blueface puts out a message about Krishan's my wife, she got upset and got on her page and talking about he just making it up. Girl, he has been with Krishan for 4 years, giving you his ass, having you kiss his ass. Goodbye. But anyway, y'all, none of these people. So we're gonna make a flyer with with Orlando Brown, Brother Bilal, Eugenia, Uncle Ron, and Bonnie Lachey. And we're gonna call it the Delusionals. I might have to put one more person on that. None of these people have given us a receipt. None. All right. So, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. This is not set in stone. This is for entertainment purposes only. Don't come sue me because I ain't giving you a goddamn penny. That's on period to the period and the period. Ain't got nothing for you, baby, except some gumbo, possibly a little bag of crawfish, and I might be able to give you a daiquiri. Ain't got nothing else for you, baby. Okay, so don't come over here with nothing. You have a scan Brother Bilal's QR code for his book. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Y'all just... Okay, so did you see Brother Bilal's book yet? Did y'all see Brother Bilal's book? Give me a one in the chat if you've been able to scan the QR code for Brother Bilal's book. Have you seen a copy of Brother Bilal's book? Put a yes in the chat. A physical copy where you could purchase. Have you been able to purchase it on Amazon, Etsy, a bookstore? Have you been able to scan the QR code? Can I get a yes if you've been able to get your hands on the book? If you've been able to scan the QR code? Can I get a yes? Can I get a yes? Have you been able to get the physical, like not a picture of the book that looks like it's AI generated? Have you seen the book? Have you purchased the book? What's the link to the book? Where's the book? What's the girl that just said? God is Noel. How can I scan the QR code, Goddess Noel? Is there a site where I can purchase the book in order to scan the QR code? Where's Goddess Noel at? I want to know. Can I get the link, Goddess Noel, to the book? See, that's why y'all don't like coming to my channel, because I'm going to make it real for you. See, I ain't going to get on there talking about, yeah, he got a book, and you got to scan the QR code, girl. Yes. Kiki. Where is that? Produce it. Where is that? Y'all can't just tell me no anything. Y'all gonna come with the proof. That's just like that lady who was on the live stream the other night talking about who that was. She said that somebody said something about Tamar. I said, well, where the proof at? She said, I don't have none. I like you though, but you didn't have no proof. Not me Googling the book. I already Googled the book. Already clicked on a link. The link doesn't work. It's corrupted. You can't get on the website. The book is not on Etsy. It's not on Amazon. It's not at a bookstore. I've already checked it. So you can't get over on me. I'm the last person to get over on. Because before you tell me, I already done looked at it. I'm a research person. You can't just tell me no anything and I'm going to just go fly with it. That's why when you said it, I'm not trying to be mean to you. I challenge you. I challenge you to produce it. I challenge you to tell me how I can scan the QR code for a book that don't even exist. I challenge you. Where is it? He has shown us no receipts. And this is another thing I want to say before I go. And I gotta go. But this is another thing I want to say. If you don't sue me, then I'm going to release information on you. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? If you don't sue me, I'm gonna release information on you. So that's some kind of Jedi mind trick. That's some kind of reverse psychology. There's a girl I saw on YouTube. If they don't answer me, then I'm telling the truth. Or maybe people just don't give a fuck. So while you sitting here waiting on somebody to respond, and if they don't respond, then you telling the truth, maybe they just don't give a fuck. So I'm going to put this out. And if they don't respond, that means I'm telling the truth. Huh? Goddess Noel, I'm just messing with you, girl. Calm down, like. But I'm just saying, if they don't respond to me, then that means I'm telling the truth. Well, maybe they just don't give a fuck about responding to Blue Nola. How about that? How about that? Right? I'm just saying. If you don't respond to me, then that means I'm telling the truth. Well, maybe the people don't give a damn. Maybe you mean this much to them. Maybe you're not important. Maybe you're blowing smoke and you can't produce a receipt. Maybe the QR code doesn't work to a book that doesn't exist. Touche. All right, I'm out of here. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. If you come on my channel talking about what somebody said, what somebody did, hey, we're going to have to, I want to see something. I mean, I do readings. But the one thing I do in my readings, I make sure my readings align. And when the on social media, when that prediction hits or when that confirmation comes, you can match up what I said versus what actually happened. Nothing's perfect. I'm not perfect either. And if I'm wrong, I'll stand corrected. Right? I'll stand corrected. But we got too many people out here just saying stuff and they never have any proof. And they be on YouTube just spinning a little social media wheel like a hamster. And then after that, they get off and they get missing. And nothing's ever been solved. There's never been nothing solved. I might start getting into the conspiracy game too, because that seems to be where the money is and the coins at. Maybe I shouldn't be so matter of fact in things, because then, maybe I could command a little bit more coins by blowing a little bit more smoke, stirring a pot and creating and conjuring things up. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. Don't forget, Nola, can you do Raspy? Thank you for the suggestion. I saw a video where the reader confirming that Jaguar was telling the truth about Diddy and Christopher Williams. Okay, girl. We don't confirm, nor do we deny what other readers say or do on their channel. You know? I let other readers do what they do. I have no dog in that fight. If they said that on their channel, I respect that. I respect what they say, but don't bring it over here. Don't bring it over here. Now, if you want to promote what they said, you can send me a cash app to $Blue Nola Tarot. You can spend $100 to talk about what another reader said on their channel. And you can promote them the entire time you're on the live stream. So if you want to talk about what another reader said, what another content reader said, what another content creator did, you can cash at me at $Blue Nola Tarot. And then that way you can openly promote for them because you pay for the promotion. All right? I take promotions too. All right, y'all. So I'm out of here. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. I appreciate you so much. And I'm out of here. This is a reading on Diddy. And I'm not saying this man is totally lying. There's some truth to what he's saying. There's a little bit of embellishing. There's a little bit of conspiracy. There's a little bit of paranoia mixed in with a little bit of third-party information. All right? Nola, all your readings, you've been on point. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Take care. Stay blessed, encourage, and empower. I don't mean to be too fussy, but I be just trying to, we just be letting these Uncle Ron, Eugenia, all these people just say anything. Brother Belial. It's like, man, these people don't have no receipts. That's all I'm saying. All right, take care. Stay blessed. Bye-bye. I'm out of here. It's late. Peace.